Okay, I'm back again. The Gorilla Grow Tent and the Grater. And we're here to do another YouTube for y'all about what's coming up on the Stress of Daniel. Here at Time to Play Daniel A. Please hit the like button and watch the video through the end and you'll see what I'm up to. Cool. Okay, pause. Now, I had to go we were going camping. I'm going to be gone for a while, so I needed an automatic feeder. So you take an electric timer, mount it somehow. Now, they show always you put the little electric timer and you hot glue on a container. Well, I got a big tank, so it's a long way from my power to my mounting point out to where my tank would be, or my feeder is. So I'd like to actually have it further out there, but this works good for now. I did have it sitting on here, but then push the pipe down too much and it reduces the water flow. So I just put this little thing in here. It's a cap from that white goo I use in the joint compound. Put the cap in there, hole in it, bent bungee cord hook, string up the ceiling. It has these holes in it, and I made little fins inside. But this thing here just slides right off. It's really cool. All I do is I take this container here, take that container. When I slide it off, I slide that into the end. And this container here, well, let's see if I can do this with one hand here. Hang on. Let's get you here. So I take that off. Now I can just put this casing right around. I put that right around the container. So when I hold it, nothing falls out of the holes. I put the little butt plug there in the end, slide it off. I can top it up. So when I put it back on, I slide this out, putting the pipe in, and then I take the case off. It took me a while to figure it out, but it works pretty damn good. Okay. And then the casing here, just pop that off like that. Whee! See how it moves around so easily in the universal? Wow, I was really happy I made that. And you've seen this. That's the solid separator. Now the other day I was getting a lot of dirt in my system. A lot of dirt in this. So I was like, what's going on? The system's not working. So I opened it up. Those little fry, remember all those little fry I had in that bucket there? They were growing. 2 of them must have got out. They got back up in there into that filter, were growing and stirring up all that solids that was in there, making a mess. So yeah, so the solids catch. Water comes out of here, goes down. There's a tap to bleed it off when I want. Goes in, goes up. Comes back out of here. That's just a breather. Drying out my ShamWow. It's a perfect thing, ShamWow. Okay, and then in here, this is the filter box. You've seen this before. See, it's the filter box, spray bar. Yeah, okay. Gotta have those orange strips in there. Everywhere there seems to be the little black flies, so I just put orange strips everywhere. It works pretty good. So today, I'm going to be upgrading that beginner tank. That was kind of interesting, evolution, how things evolve. A few years ago, I started all this aquaponics, playing around, little tanks, little totes. You go back on my Instagrams, you look at my YouTubes, you'll see the little projects I've started, progressed along. Now progressing along the way, at one time I had a really big tank. And that was my big tote tank, and that was what I had all my water in, supplying my little system. And I had it inside here in the grow tent. And then I wanted to get it outside, so I needed to take measurements from it and have a place to put it. So, you know, the ground's always soft here, and it's cold in the winter, it's always frozen, so I had to find a way to thermally insulate it, and blah, 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 blah. So remember to keep watching, because there's things at the end you'll want to see. Anyways, so I built this box in the ground here, which I painted every single board. It's all 2x4s. Everything's screwed, every layer. It's all wrapped in this tarp tape to make it really tough. Foamed it in so it's completely insulated in a full poly wrap, all foamed in to make it warm. But now it needs an upgrade, because if I have an overflow, water overflow, the water just overflows in here to the box. I got a big ass mess. What it's really meant for is whatever the tote is that's in here will be plumbed through the sides of the tote, and then there'll be a bulkhead in the back which just has a hose, and anytime the water gets too high, it flows out the back, right? Simple. So That's why I bought those big black totes. I bought a big black tote, was going to build it. Then I built that solid separator. Then if you watch my videos, I knew I needed to get the small particles out, because that's really the next step in the evolution of cleaning it up. No use having a good tote or getting your food good if your product's not good. I was waiting for the testers. I got my iron tester. 0 iron. If any of you know where I can get iron here in BC, just sent to me, or I can get iron, I need it. I got to get the proper iron to add to my system. I have the tester now, and I got to bring my iron up for my plants to grow better. But that's okay. I'm learning, right? I got my freshwater testing kit, and I've been testing my nitrates and my nitrites and my ammonias and pHs. Got to watch your pH and the nitrate, and got to watch it all. Okay, well, check this out. So now I got that tote there. Canadian Tire, 210 liter, and then this one here is the same thing. So then I got another one. So I got another one, but it wasn't tall enough. It's got to be up out of the hole, and I'm not able to get anything larger than this size in a tall tote. So I took a sheet of plywood like this and made a template like this, where all the little squares were in the bottom. And I drilled the holes in every little piece of the plywood, 4 per hole. Made sure there was at least 2, 1 in, 1 out. And took one of these big plywoods here, and then I taped it to the bottom. And yesterday I used ant spider repellent spray foam and sprayed in all those holes. Then I was going to use these sheets of plywood here, and still wasn't going to be enough. It wasn't going to be tall enough. So I cut some 2x12s, and I cut them perfectly, because that's another 1.5 inches. So I was going to add these 2 sheets of plywood, the 1.5 inches of fir. That was still going to be really tight. It was going to be tight. I might have to cut my edging. But it's really heavy. You put that one board on there, and then hold all those on there. That's a lot of, that's a lightweight tote, and now it's got all that weight to it. So I thought, you got to deaden the sound of that, the sound of the pump. It's always vibrating. In the cold of the winter, I mean, you get 20 below here, 25 below, and in the winter, that cold really radiates up into that box. It's hard to keep the water warm. So that should insulate it. And I wasn't thinking I had this big ass chunk piece of insulation. So when I was out there foaming out in the outside, it started raining on me, just pouring. And I thought, what am I going to put over top of it? So I went into my shelter to get a piece of plywood or something, and boom, big chunk of styrofoam. This is what's kind of left of it now, that there and that edge piece. So, big chunk of styrofoam. Well, perfect. It's 2 inches thick, right? 2 layers of that, 4 inches, nice and lightweight. It's insulation, it'll deaden the noise. Perfect. Measured it, just cut it, just right on. So all I got to do now is I just took one of these chunks, and laid it on there, put the felt pen on there and kneeled on it, got my hole saw, cut it all out last night. And so the one is foamed and taped on there, it's never coming off. And then 2 layers of styrofoam on there, see, man, that's all taped on there with that pretty tough, it's that tarp tape. It's really tough duty stuff. So now that it's all fixed up, last night I cut the bulkheads in it. So this is a bulkhead from the fish tank. Water supply to the fish tank. This is an exhaust water. So anytime I want to just expel water, I just turn the tap. This one will expel. My overflow, that's 1.5 inches there. So that's just got to be kind of at the right height. And then another 2 inch. So as you see over here, I'll show you. Okay, so now I got my 2 inch there coming in. This 2 inch from the tank feed, exhaust, and this little guy here, well, when I put all this in there, I gotta change it, twist it, change it, mod it, go in there and get all the little pieces I got, make sure I got all the little fun stuff. And then once I do that, then I'll drill a hole and put in the bulkhead for this one, because I think that's going to be my only real variable. Now, my pump with my exhaust, Once I shut off my water supply to my tanks and shut my filters back off from feeding back into the sump, I'll have to drain my sump tank. Now, of course, my big pump will only go down so low, so I picked up a Canadian Tire, that little puppy there. It's like a 75 gallon an hour, I believe it is, and I just hooked it up to a little 1/2 inch hose here. There's a 1/2 inch hose in the camera down there. There it is. Okay, so then I'll poke it out the plastic over there where the other hoses poke out. I just go like that, poke it out there, and then I'll be able to just plug that puppy in and take that water right down to a minimum. Woo. Take that water down to a minimum and strip the whole thing, put it in that tote, cut it, fit it. That's what we're doing today. It's gonna be fun. All right, so gotta stay active here, Daniel. It's always staying busy. Now, as you know, my videos are raw. I haven't started editing or cutting and chopping. A little bit of time on my hands now, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. You tell me. Please leave a comment, a like, or anything. So let me check out here. Check that out. Okay, so in here, we've been growing the kale. Now, we planted kale in here really densely, and a lot of kale in here was really dense. Now, trying to clean up my diet, so I've thinned out the kale and ate a bunch of that. Took one, transplanted it over here where we're taking out of that tomato. This was a few days ago. It's kind of looking pretty good. And then last few days I've been harvesting out of here. It's really tasty kale. I like to wash it, but here, check this out, I'll show you.